Welcome to another deep dive. We're going exploring some really fascinating reflections on indigenous cultures and their stories.
Yeah.
And our source material for this one is actually a student's personal podcast reflecting on their experience in an indigenous studies course.
Cool.
Yeah, it was NBE3U, I think.
Okay,
So
interesting.
get ready to discover how these stories aren't just narratives. They're like living history, shaping identity, and driving real-world change.
I love that. Living history. That's a great way to put it because it really emphasizes how these stories aren't just something from the past.
Right.
They're actively shaping the present and the future.
Yeah, and they're carrying so much knowledge and wisdom with them.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I think is really cool about the students' reflection is how they connect this idea of living history to the 94 calls to action.
Yeah, that was a really powerful connection, especially when they focus in on call #14 about language revitalization.
Right. Because you can't have these stories without language. They're intertwined. Language is the vehicle for these stories to be passed down.
And without that language, those stories fade away. It's like losing a piece of history.
Exactly.
And they even bring up this incredible example of the Highzach language revitalization project. Have you heard of this?
Vaguely. Remind me.
So this is a language that was on the brink of extinction with fewer than 10 fluent speakers.
Wow.
But they're working to bring it back.
That's amazing.
Through recording and teaching. I mean,
that is incredible.
Talk about determination.
Yeah, fewer than 10 speakers. That's cutting it close.
It really highlights the importance of preserving these languages and the stories they carry. It's not just about words, it's about culture, it's about identity.
Right, it's like a lifeline.
Absolutely.
And I think this student's journey really illustrates the power of applying knowledge to real-world issues.
Yes, like moving beyond just the academic study and actually engaging with these ideas in a meaningful way. They talk about their experience reading Richard Wagamis's novel, Medicine Walk.
Oh, fantastic book.
Have you read it?
I have. It's so powerful. The way it explores relationships, identity, and this connection to ancestral knowledge.
Yeah, and the student talks about how this story really resonated with them, especially in the context of understanding intergenerational trauma.
Yeah. Medicine Walk is really good at showing how storytelling can be a tool for healing and connection.
For sure. And it makes you think, how many other stories are out there that we haven't heard yet? How many voices are waiting to be discovered?
Right.
The student also worked on this media response infographic project, which is so cool.
Oh, interesting. What was that about?
So they had to analyze indigenous perspectives in different forms of media.
Okay.
And then apply those insights to current social justice issues.
Wow. That's putting knowledge into action.
Isn't it? It's like taking what they learned in the classroom and using it to understand the world around them.
It's like that thing they say about knowledge is power.
Oh.
But power's nothing without control.
Right.
You gotta use it, or else what's the point?
Totally.
And that's what the student did.
Exactly.
And you know what else I liked?
What's that?
The student was really honest about their strengths and weaknesses as a learner.
Yes. I love that they acknowledged their struggle with procrastination, because I think we can all relate to that.
Oh, yeah. Procrastination is my middle name.
Huh. But what was really inspiring was how they talked about the impact of participating in those book club discussions.
Yes, that's so important. Sharing your own thoughts and hearing other people's perspectives, it's how we grow.
It takes learning out of isolation.
Right.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the big takeaway for our listener?
Well, I think it's clear that Indigenous stories hold incredible power. They shape history, identity, and our understanding of reconciliation.
For sure.
By immersing ourselves in these stories, we gain a deeper appreciation for the diverse cultures around us.
Absolutely.
So what I would challenge our listeners to do is pick up a work of Indigenous literature.
Ooh, good one.
Or even learn about a local language revitalization project.
Yeah.
And just think about it. How might those stories reshape your understanding of the world?
That's something to really ponder. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
My pleasure. Until next time.